Hello, fellow nail stamping fanatics. I am back today with the newest collection from UberChic Beauty. This is collection 14. So in case this is your first time checking out one of my videos about UberChic plates, there are a few things that I really love about this brand. Of course, quality, but there are a few things that I can count on from Brittany. One of the things she does is she gives you negative and positive images, so you can play around. This one is where your stamping polish is going to show the design. This one you can see like where the diamonds are. It's your base polish that's going to show through. So you can play around with hollows and glitters, and she always gives you some negative space images so that you can do manicures like that. But then I love that she also will give you complementary images. She also plays around with scale. So like on this one, which is 1402, we've got this kind of mosaic pattern in a larger scale and then in a medium scale. And then this is another thing I love about her plates is she always gives you like these little isolated images to go along with the full nail images. And then I love that the plates have a nice variety of geometrics, optical illusion images like this, beautiful flowers, henna kind of designs. And I also love that even between the plates, there are different images that go well together. So I feel like in one of her collections, she does a pretty good job of giving you a whole bunch of different options for a whole bunch of different moods and types of manis, and that there's more design potential than any individual image gives you because there's the flexibility with the sizes and the mix and match. And another thing that I love is that she's adding more and more images for layering, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to those. Okay, she does these beautiful flower designs, which are great for LED lighting. I know one of the things that's really big on Instagram now is black and white and then coloring it in with LED lighting or things like that. And these images are beautiful for that, I think. They're also beautiful for, obviously, for making decals, anything like that. You can, do this with a simple color, or you could, stamp it like in white and then stamp over again slightly offset in red. Play with color there. You could stamp it once horizontally, once vertically, or once horizontally and once at a diagonal. So all kinds of things like that. Okay, so here's one of the layering images that I'm talking about. So here is like you could stamp this part in lavender and then stamp in a darker purple or a black, and then you could add a little dot of color on the bigger part of the wings here with this, so you could maybe make that I don't know, blue if you wanted to. Basket weave texture, a lovely henna style mandala. And one thing that I love about images like this is make sure that you take advantage of the edge here. So with normal full nail images that are just cut off like that, you don't have quite as much design potential. So you can do fun things like create beautiful French tips, easy as pie. You can do half moon patterns, again, just super easy, gorgeous. Of course you can do a full nail image if you wanted to in there, it's big enough, but you could do like across half of your nail. How pretty is that? Or like do it full on one nail and then just half across the next nail. So use those edges to your advantage because they're beautiful. I love this. This is like, I don't know, my mind works in strange ways, I admit it, but this like looks like under an electron microscope what like pollen particles look like. Another beautiful, she just does these so well. And another 3D image that kind of pops, and I love with the cubes with the little kind of like they're scribbles, so they're not perfect. In any image like this, like you could do this with a gradient underneath. So say you did a gradient on your nails that went from at the top it was light and the bottom was dark, and then you stamped this the opposite way. So you would just like do a stripe of darker polish up here, stripe of darker polish down there, and then scrape it off like this, and boom, you're ready to go. We already talked about these. I love this pattern though. It's like a starburst. It's so cool. And then, okay, so this looks like a stylized fleur-de-lis to me, and it goes along with this one here, which I think is very pretty and sort of has a New Orleans feel. And then we have another one of these butterflies that you can layer. So you would stamp like that one first, and then stamp that one over it. So maybe you do that in a light purple, and then that in a dark purple, or light blue and dark blue, or however you want to do that. Some beautiful dots, which, dotacures are just classic, standard, beautiful. And this is a great way to go in, stamp this, and you can either just be done, or you can go in and use it as a guide to stamp your different colors of your dotacure so that you can get a placement that you like. Because seems like whenever I try to do a dotacure by hand, I end up getting like the ones on half the nail are close together and the other ones on half the nail are wide apart, and it just looks gross. This reminds me of like a curtain, like when you go to the opera, those ones that like pull up slowly. But it's just a beautiful texture to that. And again, keep in mind that, you know, you can play around there with those, you know, with French tips and things like that. And then you've got your full nail image of your butterflies that go along with those layered ones. So, you know, also keep in mind that you could go ahead and stamp like this on the corner of your nail here, right? And then stamp this full nail image over it, and then you've got just your one here that pops, right? So adorable. At least I think you can, because I think that's the same size. So, but at the very least, you could, you know, stamp this and then go ahead and stamp one of these over the design somewhere so it pops. I love, I don't know what these are called, but they remind me of like boomerang kind of shapes. I love it. And then sort of a giraffe patterny, cracked earth, gorgeous. And then one of these beautiful flower doodle henna kind of things. And this one's got butterflies hidden all in it, which I love. And one of the cool things I love about these images is you can get a different feel, you know, for every nail on here. So that one kind of focuses more on the daisy. You could get this right there, and that makes a beautiful mani just on its own. You could focus on the butterfly, which also makes a really pretty mani, like just on its own. I'd probably angle it a little bit. But you can get all of these different manicures. So run your little nail guide like this over here and see what you like. Ooh, I really love that one. And so they're all similar. They're all similar in style, but you can get them all different. Or you can stamp, you know, the same one on every single one of your nails. Oh, look at this monarch kind of butterfly up here. Gorgeous. And then yes, no, and maybe, which, you know, I guess that covers pretty much everything. And you've got this little guy that goes here, and you've got this little guy that goes up here and matches that. All right, let's look at 1402. This beautiful mandala pattern. And then again, see, she's got big scale here for you, and then medium, and then she's got the smaller one you can play around with, and positive space, that's a negative space. So you can play around with that a little bit. And I love this is like fans, and you've got your little one that goes here, and then little bow tie pattern kind of feel to it. This is like stones, great texture for the back of an image. And I like wacky flowers like that. I think those are cool. Gorgeous. So easy to make this a beautiful poppy manicure on your nails. Just, I guess poppies have solid, but whatever they are, whatever these flowers are, you can make gorgeous manicures. So simple to go in and make a decal out of that, or lead light over it. You can add in, you could like make gradients, so like darker pink, lighter pink to lightest pink over the flowers, but just super easy to play around with. You've got these little 4 squares together, and that matches this full nail image over here. Now, normally these go with something, and I can't for the life of me find the image that this goes with, so bear with me. All right, so if you like chevrons, this gives you also a little bit of a visual illusion in that. Another gorgeous flower image that you can, you know, decorate as easy as pie with lead lighting or decal. I love this one where it's like smaller on the outside and more on the inside, so you get this dynamic feel to it. And this would go great as background image for a mustache manicure. So mustaches, you know, are all the rage, but that has a little mustache feel, or, you know, just for anything else. This is fun, like a pinwheel flower, and you've got the negative and the positive there, so you can play around with that. Of course, this one goes up with those guys here. I love the way she's played with this pattern with the ovals here from the sort of squishy triangle-y shapes. And I talked about this cute mosaic and the different shapes. It's not this, so this isn't perfect, but I think this goes very well with this. Some circles. This has a beautiful chain feel to it, and I like that it's overlapped here as well, so you can mix and match those patterns. And then a couple more visual illusion here. I love how the star just seems to kind of like be pulling the pattern, and then it alternates between, and then you've got the pattern within a pattern here. You can do gradients underneath, smoosh manis underneath, all kinds of fun stuff. This is one of her layering images, so this sort of mesh pattern you can stamp first and then you stamp this over it, or vice versa. So, and I honestly, I could even see going in on like these little squares and adding in some square glitter or some rhinestones or even just like little dots of color. I think that would be really cool. So there's one of those layering images there. All right, and then let's move on to 1403. And usually it seems like she puts most of the layering images on the third plate in the series. Kind of a basket weave, ball of yarn, tangle of spaghetti kind of look. And here is one of these intricate, almost henna style flowers, and she's designed it so you can layer. So you could stamp that in red and stamp that in black over it, or, you know, stamp this in like a beautiful coral and stamp a gold over it. Gorgeous. And I like that this one is a more solid design. So if you're in the mood for just a single color and you want to go and just have something bold, you've got a design there that can do that. Mesh pattern, but notice how this one is sort of gradiated. Bigger diamonds down here, you've got smaller ones down there, and so again you could play with gradients under that, or even just like a smoosh mani under that. Super cool. I love the texture to this flower. I love the look of things like this over pretty glitters where you can have the little glitters shining through the open areas. Beautiful little flourish. This is the sort of thing I love to do when I want just a fast mani, just a single accent nail. So, you know, maybe I have a beautiful purple on and I stamp that in gold. Boom, I'm done. So here are some of these, the same flowers here. So you could do like this in across all your nails and then just have one or two of the bigger ones that are layered. And maybe you have like, oh, this would be beautiful with like a white base polish, stamp this in gold, and then stamp this one in red and gold or red and black over just one or two of the nails. Gorgeous. Neat little mosaic pattern here. There it is. This is what matches up with this. There you go. So this little one on plate 02 matches that one there. And she's got the bigger scale, the medium scale, and then that little one you can mix and match with. And you've got this one here that you can play with. And again, big scale, little scale, and then a separate one that you can mix and match with. And I think that one looks like it's about the same scale as this one. So you can play around with that as well too. Like maybe you want to stamp this all in gold and then stamp over on top of it in black, just right on the top there of that center. That could be pretty cool. So when you play around with those images, you know, check and see how they look together over one another, all that kind of stuff. Another little that looks like kind of a fan or a propeller, and that goes along with this. And here we've got the big scale and we've got the negative space. We've got a medium scale, then we've got a little scale, and then we've got the positive space accent to go along with it. I love these little triangles, and this goes with one of her layering images here. So the idea is you stamp this and then you stamp this on top of it. I have a video that shows my tips for how to layer full nail images like this so that you get it lined up across the whole thing, and I will put the link to that in the description box below. And then this one, you stamp this, and then I love that she's just got half of the diamond, so when you stamp this on, it's just going to have half of that diamond filled in. So that's kind of a cool look. A little flower here, so you could stamp this in pink and that in black or red or something over it, and then your little center in yellow. And then she's got one of these diamonds with half filled in that complements that, so you can play around with that. A cute little doodle image. Ooh, and I love this with like the little arrows. That's fun. Oh, and another diamond image that you can play around with that and mix and match. So you could do stripes with that if you wanted to on a couple of your nails and put that on the rest. That would be fun. And I actually think this and this kind of go well together. I think that looks kind of cute. And this is one of my favorite images on the plate, with this play between the diamonds and the circles, making the circles out of the diamonds. I love stuff like that. And so another thing I want to mention is make sure that you mix and match. So like these here go great with this, which could go great with that. So take a look around what you've got with the different flower patterns and look at the mix and match, because that's one of the great things about a designer that designs her own stuff. You know, she tends to have a style, and so a lot of the things that are the same style are going to go together. So you could even, you know, put like this, I think, with that. I think those could look really cute together. So play around with that. Okay, if you are just tuning in for the quick review, this is 1401. This is 1402. 1403. Full nail images are about a little over 5/8 of an inch wide, and that is 1.7 millimeters wide, 2 millimeters tall. If you like inches, this is about 6.5/8 of an inch tall. And just to give you a quick feel, that's what about an inch looks like for all of those that are different sizes. Okay, for my stamping test, I'm going to use Sally Hansen Insta-Dry in Navy Fleet, and I am going to use my UberChic Beauty XL clear stamper. Gorgeous pickup, gorgeous transfer. Doesn't get better than that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, let's try 1402. I forgot to clean it off, so it sat for too long. So even though it's still pretty darn good for that, I want to make sure I give it a 100% fair shot. Beautiful. Very nice. Gorgeous. I messed up applying it. That's my fault. So that one came out a little bit light. It's good, but it's a little bit light, so I'm going to do it again. There we go. And there we go. And let's do 1403. Excellent pickup. Even on those fine lines with the XL clear stamper, that is impressive. And that's the opposite of fine lines. Beautiful. Gorgeous. And I'm going to do a layering image, so I'm going to start this one with Sally Hansen Insta-Dry Lightning. Alrighty. And there's how it looks on. So there's a little tiny bit. I think you just want to make sure that you scrape evenly. I got a little tiny bit of a little lightness there at the edge. There you go. And there you go. And of course there's a little dot, so you can go in and put the little dot in the center if you want to. So there you go. This collection stamps really well. I'm super impressed by even the fine lines with the crystal stamper, except for a tiny little bit of lightness that you can barely even see, and you definitely can't see when you look at it from here. So, but I mean, just look at that. Just gorgeous quality. So I will link everything down below, and thank you for watching.